Spencer Ross is One Step Forward, and I hope you're well. Gossiping. A lot of different opinions about this one. Some people will say talking about something is good and talking about something is bad. But gossiping is a little bit more than talking. It's talking about someone in a negative way to bring them down. People do bad things. Okay, does everybody need to know about it? So, this is my second video. First one I did, I realized halfway through the video and the last half of it, I'm just venting about a situation. So I'm not talking about something that's appropriate for what I need to be talking about. If I'm talking about trying to help us not gossip, is what I'm talking about relevant to the conversation? Well, yeah, it is. Is it truly? Or am I just focusing on myself, or am I just focusing on the negative parts of that person? Okay, so are we tearing people down? Are we damaging their reputation? Are we saying it in the incorrect way or the wrong time? There's lots of thought that needs to go into us having a conversation or a meeting. If we're at the break room, or if we're on a conference call or board meeting, you're going to talk about funny stuff. You're going to talk about sad stuff. You're going to talk about happy stuff. You're going to talk about dumb mistakes. Okay, some of that's very important. Liability concerns, management discussions on mentorship and things like that. For example, I was in a board meeting last week, and there was 6 or 7 people on the phone call. There was a gentleman leading it, and he had the most seniority in the group. He'd been there the longest and things like that. And I had a question, and I was trying to think of, do I ask the question or not? And some of the things that went through my mind are, if I ask this question, is the person I'm talking to going to be able to give me the answer? If I ask this question, are all these people who don't know about the situation at all going to get a benefit out of it? If I ask this question, how am I going to ask it in a way that the person who is going through the situation will not be able to be identified, and we can help everyone, including ourselves, be better managers later? And then, was it the appropriate place to ask the question? So, yes, the person I'm going to ask the question to, they can answer the question. The people in the group, yes, they can benefit from me asking the question. Can I say it in a way that nobody will know who it is? Yes, I can do that, but I need to put some effort into that. And is the appropriate place? I don't know if it's the appropriate place, so I'm going to ask a preparatory question first. So I had 2 questions. The first question was easy. The second question, I asked the preparatory question, and the person who was leading the meeting said, yes, please give some context. He didn't say give the name, but give some context, because there's a lot of little subtleties in what was going on in the situation that we need to know about, so that when I or anybody else in that group goes through that situation, we can handle it appropriately. Whether that's mentoring, whether that's discipline, whether that's giving mentorship before it, right? There's a leadership or educational lesson to be gained from that. Some people can twist that. Some people can twist gossip into talking about everything and everyone, right? But I didn't identify anybody. Now, sometimes someone listening to the conversation is going to be able to say, oh, hey, that's Bobby. Like, okay, that's unfortunate. I was in a meeting and I inadvertently found out that 2 people were getting let go. It was not my place to tell them. It was not my place to tell anybody else. I felt bad for my 2 friends, and someone could come back and say later that, well, you didn't stand up for your 2 friends. It was not appropriate to do that. There was something going on. A decision had been made. Okay, it's not mine to give my comment, my opinion, which I can, and hopefully I have the courage or am bold enough to give my opinion when it's appropriate. But the meeting was about a specific thing. A little side thing came up about it that impacted it. And okay, now what do I do with it? Do I go and post it online? Do I share that information? Am I talking just to the people affected? You have to make some decisions as a leader. I talk about you are a company, you are a business. Okay, so if you gossip, if you're at work and you're telling that funny story, okay, maybe it is funny. Maybe it's not appropriate for the office place. Maybe you tell it at a graduation celebration or a retirement party. Hey, do you remember when this happened? Yes, I remember this happened. I've been to weddings and they've got baby pictures up and some of them are a little bit embarrassing. Okay, everyone laughs and it's a good time. And sometimes you're not going to know that you've crossed the line until you've crossed it and someone comes to you later like, hey, I didn't appreciate that. Are we doing the best job we can in how we talk to people and how we communicate what's going on? If you know someone doesn't like something, are you going to go over and do it anyways? Well, it depends what it is, right? Politics, all is fair in love and war, relationships with your spouse, right? But if you know that they're agitated from it, well, let's think about not doing it. If you know what you say will bring someone's reputation down, or someone will look at that person in a negative way because of the story you told, do you need to tell it? Most likely not. There are lots of opinions about this. Lots of opinions. If you're in a board meeting and you need to talk about the disciplinary issue that you're going through and you need guidance on it, that would be the appropriate way to do that. Would it be appropriate to post it online, even in an anonymous way? No. If you have a question, hey, I've got a question about a disciplinary issue, can some people hit me up and let me know that we can talk, and then think about it, about making it as broad as possible. Some people won't talk about people at all. Okay, I've had conversations with people and they will not talk about themselves. So it just turns into an interview, and they wonder why people don't hang out with them. Well, because you just interview people. It's not a two-way street in communication. As you go through this week, this one's hard. It's hard to do. Sometimes I catch myself after I've already done it. Sometimes I catch myself in the middle of it, and now we've gotten into the conversation. Am I bold enough to step back and like, you know what? I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. Well, you've already stirred that much. Why don't you keep going? No, it's not appropriate for me to do so. Gossiping is talking about someone in a negative way, in a disrespectful way. Yes, there are toxic people out there and they will do whatever they want to do. Okay, let's not measure ourselves to them. Let's not look at them and they say, well, I would do it. Okay. Well, you're mean. I don't want to be mean. And if me telling this story makes me mean, I don't want to do it. Spencer Ross, One Step Forward, and please have a great week. Please watch your speech. Please watch your texts. Please watch what you post. It's easy to tell someone else to do it. Can we do it together?